Iran, because that's in the news this morning. There are protesters out on the street. President Trump is tweeting this morning about those protests in Iran. Big protests in Iran. The people are finally getting wise as to how their money and wealth is being stolen and squandered on terrorism. Looks like they will not take it any longer. The USA is watching very closely for human rights violations. Is that the right response from President Trump as far as you're concerned?
Well, I think the focus there is incredibly important. Many of us have spoken for many years about the oppression that occurs in the Middle East by many governments. And certainly we have great disagreements with Iran, who still supports terrorism, obviously oppress their own people. They're struggling right now with the growth in their economy that they were promised once the sanctions were lifted. And so I think that's the real struggle. What isn't very clear to me at this point is how much of a backlash this will create from those who really run that government, the supreme leader as well as the IRGC, and how hard they'll come down on their people. But we certainly should be on guard for human rights violations, and I think we should be supportive of more freedoms in that country. And
that didn't work in 2009. Might it work this time? What would be different?
Well, I think that the 2009 timeframe is very instructive. I think we chose to not be as supportive as we could have been then. And I hope we can be right now so that Iran can continue to evolve. They have an incredibly young population. They look to a future that they cannot see. They've been promised change and a healthier economy by the current government, and I think the protests represent the inability to deliver that so far. So I think support of them and their people is absolutely the right thing to do.
And